But I'm Dr. Rita McGuire. I'm the Chief Medical Officer as well as one of the co-founders for Wakana for Life. And tonight we're going to talk about how CBD can help to alleviate many symptoms of those who live with autoimmune diseases. First, I want to read this disclaimer that these statements and products have not been approved by the FDA. If you are pregnant, nursing, or on medication, please consult your physician prior to taking any cannabis products. Again, I represent the pillar of health. I am the Chief Medical Officer for Wakana for Life. I'm also an obstetrician gynecologist. I've been practicing for over 30 years, and yes, I'm still a practicing OB-GYN. On the left, you see I'm doing a hysterectomy. On the right, I've transitioned my practice to doing a lot of cosmetic surgeries, which include tummy tucks and liposuctions. And yes, I use CBD in my practice for patients who want alternatives to post-op pain management and other medical conditions. I also was asked to testify for the Judiciary Committee here in Illinois for the passing of the adult use marijuana law. So we are here in Illinois, the 11th state that has adopted recreational use cannabis. But as many physicians, I know there is a man standing there, but as many physicians, you know, I was really sick of standing on the sidelines looking at so many of my patients having side effects and just honestly not getting any better on traditional pharmaceutical medications. So 3 years ago, I was introduced to this amazing plant that you see on the right and all of its medicinal properties. And I have now combined CBD and cannabis-based products in my practice to really help my patients have a more holistic way of looking at treating symptoms that they suffer from. So tonight, we're going to be talking about autoimmune diseases. Well, what is an autoimmune disease? It's a condition in which your immune system mistakenly attacks your body. It thinks that it's foreign. So our immune system normally guards and protects us against germs like bacteria and viruses. But in autoimmune diseases, our body senses that they are foreign invaders. So it sends out an army of fighter cells to attack our body. So let's start off with lupus. Lupus is a hyperactive immune system where every single organ pretty much is affected in those who live with lupus. It can affect the mouth and nose and cause ulcers. It can affect the lungs and cause not only pulmonary hemorrhage and inflammation called pleuritis and pneumonitis, but even blood clots in the lungs. It can cause kidneys to fail. It can cause hair loss, high fever, abnormal headaches, a very, very important skin rash that those who have systemic lupus have. It's called a butterfly rash. It actually looks like someone has slapped them on the face or the cheeks. So it's red patches and it's in a butterfly sort of form. Lupus can also attack the heart and cause atherosclerosis, inflammation, endocarditis, as well as those who live with lupus have severe abdominal pain. They have issues with anemia, high blood pressure, muscle and joint pains, swollen joints. So almost every single organ you can see is affected in those who live with lupus. In fact, it's estimated that 1 in every 200 Americans live with lupus. When I was in medical school in the early 1990s, this was something that we read about. Autoimmune diseases were not very common. There is no cure for this autoimmune disease, but there are new developments in the treatment of its painful symptoms due to inflammation. Again, it's inflammation of the joints, inflammation of the blood vessels. They typically have high fevers, fatigue, again, the butterfly rash on the face, loss of appetite, and photosensitivity. Now, the traditional treatments for lupus are prescriptions. Typically, we use a lot of opioids for pain relief. You know, these opioids can lead to addiction. But what we're finding is that, and you'll hear more about this in this webinar, where CBD or cannabidiol is a safe and effective option for those suffering from lupus. CBD, we'll learn, is a very powerful anti-inflammatory and analgesic, so it helps to relieve pain. Another very common autoimmune disease is sarcoidosis. Sarcoidosis is something that Bernie Mac had. He's a comedian that many of you know. He was diagnosed in 1983 with sarcoidosis. He died in 2008 from complications due to pneumonia. And truly, Bernie Mac's foundation is really helping those who live with sarcoidosis to find some options in their symptoms. So what is sarcoidosis? Again, it's another autoimmune disease. It's characterized by growths of tiny collections of inflammatory cells. You see that word again, right? Inflammation. Those cells are called granulomas. This disease commonly occurs in the lungs and the lymph nodes, but also, just like in lupus, sarcoidosis can affect the eyes, the skin, the heart, and other organs. So again, we have an abnormal activity of the immune cells. These cells think that there are foreign invaders and they go and attack. Again, sarcoidosis symptoms, because sarcoidosis does affect almost every organ and gland in the body, these folks also live with symptoms that can vary from dry cough, fatigue, shortness of breath. Other symptoms include tender reddish patches on the skin. So again, the skin is being affected, blurred vision, swollen and painful joints, hoarse voice, enlarged lymph nodes in the neck, in the chest, in the lungs, pain in hands, feet, or bones. Can you imagine living with just chronic pain every single day? These also folks live with formation of kidney stones, enlarged liver, burning, itching, or dry eyes, and difficulty breathing with chest pain. So sarcoidosis can also impact the calcium metabolism, can impact the spleen, the nervous system, and muscles. Again, there is no treatment, but what we do have, there are some medications that we use in sarcoidosis and lupus. Some of those medications include corticosteroids, hydroxychloroquine, and a medication called TNF-alpha inhibitors. Unfortunately, these medications are very expensive and they have very significant side effects. So let's move into how cannabis, specifically CBD, can help in those who live with autoimmune diseases. Well, let's first start off and talk about the plant. The cannabis plant has over 100 plus cannabinoids. These are compounds that the plant produces. The two most common ones that we know about are THC, or tetrahydrocannabinol. That's the compound that gets you high. It's the psychoactive one. And then there is CBD, cannabidiol, which is the non-psychoactive cannabinoid that the cannabis plant makes. In addition to the 100 plus cannabinoids, there are two species that the cannabis plant makes. One species is the marijuana species, and we all know that's the one that gets us high. It is made up of high levels of THC and very low trace levels of CBD. The other species that this plant makes is what we're going to concentrate on tonight, and that is the hemp species. That's a species that has very low levels of THC. It's defined as containing 0.3% or less, and high levels of CBD, or cannabidiol. In fact, when we talk about CBD being extracted from the hemp plant, it has a lot of medicinal properties. And when we think back on all of the organs and glands that are affected by those who have autoimmune diseases, we can see that there's a lot of benefits in using CBD in those who have lupus, who have sarcoidosis, who have scleroderma, who have fibromyalgia, who have rheumatoid arthritis, all of those autoimmune diseases. In fact, there are over 100 autoimmune diseases. So we can see that CBD can benefit the brain. How so? Well, CBD is a very powerful antipsychotic. It's a great antidepressant. It's an anti-anxiolytic. It's an antioxidant, and it's neuroprotective. So it really helps those who have anxiety and depression and neurodegenerative diseases, and even those who have had issues with strokes. It can go in and protect the nervous system. Let's look at the hands. Well, CBD benefits the hands and those who have rheumatoid arthritis, which is another autoimmune disease. It is a powerful analgesic, a pain reliever. We talked about the abdominal pain that those who live with lupus and fibromyalgia and sarcoid have. Well, it helps to relieve any nausea and vomiting, and it actually is an appetite control and suppressive. How about the eyes? Well, CBD is a vasorelaxant. It also helps to reduce not only the pressure in the eyes from those who have glaucoma, but it actually helps to decrease the inflammation in those who suffer from lupus and sarcoidosis. The heart, we talked about how sarcoidosis and lupus affects the heart. You know, the immune system thinks the heart is a foreign object, and CBD can come in and be an anti-ischemic, meaning that it can help to not only reduce plaque in the heart and build up, but reduce inflammation in the heart, in the lungs, and even the intestine. So CBD stands for cannabidiol. Again, it's the second most common cannabinoid found in different strains of the cannabis plant. It's the most common one found in the hemp plant, and unlike THC, CBD does not cause a high. It's really important that you understand that none of these products that we're going to talk about that really can help with symptoms in those who live with autoimmune diseases has no high, no mind-altering effect. In fact, I've been using, again, CBD in my practice for the last 3 years in conjunction with other traditional forms of treatment. So this is a long list of medical benefits that CBD has. This is also a list of different medical conditions that research has shown that CBD has been helpful in. Sarcoidosis, lupus, fibromyalgia, epilepsy, anxiety, depression, attention deficit disorder, cancer, osteoporosis, lupus, diabetes, Parkinson's, chronic pain, neuropathic pain. Well, how can this one compound do so much? Well, let's look at the other cannabinoids, and let's look at something that our body produces. Our body actually produces cannabinoids. Did you know that? They're called endocannabinoids. In fact, if you breastfed your baby, or even if you were breastfed, if you could remember way back then, our body produces a cannabinoid called anandamide. It's called anandamide. It is the endocannabinoid of bliss. And what these endocannabinoids are imperative in doing in helping to keep our body in balance. So whenever we have a deficiency in these endogenous cannabinoids, when our bodies are knocked out of balance due to the food we're eating, the processed food, the bad diet, the lack of exercise, the lack of sleep, then we need cannabinoids like CBD and THC to come in and put our body back into balance. And so the cannabinoids that you want to look at are here. This is what I call my health wheel. And a full spectrum product or a full spectrum cannabinoid wheel include some of these, but you can see the hero or the main player or the most important one is CBD. Again, CBD has a long list of medicinal properties and benefits on the body, from it being an antibacterial to being a cannabinoid that helps to reduce pain and anxiety. It also helps to reduce inflammation. It helps to get the immune system that's hyperactive in those who have lupus and sarcoidosis. It helps that immune system to get back in check. It also is a vasorelaxant, an anti-inflammatory. So it's going to help to reduce symptoms in those who have a hyperactive immune system. We look at delta-9 THC. Again, THC has medicinal properties, not as many benefits as CBD, but it also helps to relieve pain, to suppress muscle spasms, to reduce nausea and vomiting, and also to stimulate the appetite. We see other cannabinoids like CBG and CBC and delta-8 THC all synergistically work on the cellular level to give those who suffer or those who live, I don't want to say the word suffer, but those who live with autoimmune diseases. So the way that CBD and these other cannabinoids work is by the endocannabinoid system. In fact, the endocannabinoid system was discovered by an Israeli scientist who isolated THC in the 1960s. And as he was trying to understand how and why THC made people euphoric or high, he discovered the endocannabinoid system. And what he discovered was that this system regulated and modulated physiological and cognitive processes. It actually regulated and modulated our appetite, our pain sensation, our mood, our memory, even fertility. Women who have issues in getting pregnant or even multiple miscarriages. So this system is a very, very vital biological system whose overall function is to regulate homeostasis or to keep our body in balance. This system has receptors that are found throughout our entire body. Every vertebrae has an endocannabinoid system. These receptors are not only found in the brain and the central nervous system, but they're found in the immune system. The immune system is what we're talking about tonight. The immune system in those who live with autoimmune diseases is hyperactive. It thinks that the body and the organs within the body are foreign, so it starts to attack. So that's very imperative that those who have autoimmune diseases understand how CBD works with these CB2 receptors modulating and regulating not only our immune system, but our periphery, our system that regulates pain. So again, the endocannabinoid system keeps our body in balance, it keeps our body in homeostasis, and it regulates and modulates many regulatory processes in our body, from the immune system to our sleep-wake cycle, to regulation of stress, to our memory, to our digestion, to our metabolism. So let's look at a little bit more closely how CBD works in disease entities like lupus and sarcoidosis. Well, there's minimum research on the effects of CBD in lupus. However, we know that CBD or cannabidiol provides a very clear understanding of its benefits for lupus, those being reducing inflammation and pain. Lots of research done on CBD as it relates to reducing inflammation and pain. In fact, the National Center for Biotechnical Information, if you look up that website and type in CBD and lupus, you can see that there's a lot of studies that show that CBD is an effective way to manage pain without using a lot of pain medications that those who live with lupus use. There are so many scientific studies, and in fact, we'll hear a very powerful testimony at the end of this webinar in someone who has found a lot of benefits in helping with her lupus symptoms with CBD. We know that the number one reason people use CBD is for pain relief. In fact, there is over 5,000 years of research that shows that CBD, cannabis in general, is a very powerful analgesic and anti-inflammatory agent. So CBD can be used for not only treating chronic pain, but neuropathic pain. That's pain caused by diseases like diabetes or lupus or fibromyalgia. And CBD is safe for nociceptive pain. That's when nerve fibers are triggered by inflammation, by chemicals, or even physical events. So there's a lot of studies that show that CBD has been used to treat various types of pain and inflammation, from those patients who are post-surgical or even those patients who have autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, lupus sarcoidosis, and chronic neuropathic pain. How about the mental impact of those who have lupus? Well, patients with lupus commonly suffer from anxiety and depression. Why? Can you imagine living with chronic pain every single day, or hair loss, or skin disorders? So CBD activates what we call the serotonin receptors in the brain. Those receptors are important for lowering anxiety and improving the mood, improving the sleep, even improving the appetite and nausea in those patients who have lupus. So CBD is absolutely an alternative natural way to help with anxiety and depression. Let's look at CBD and sarcoidosis. Lots of studies found that it is effective in relieving symptoms that those who have sarcoidosis. CBD, we talked about, protects the immune system. How does it do that? Well, it does it by lowering the viral load. There is a lot of thought that sarcoidosis is stimulated or brought on by a virus or a bacteria. CBD is an antibacterial and an antiviral. It also can help the kidneys by lowering the cell death and kidney inflammation in those who have sarcoidosis. Again, CBD is an antiviral and an antibacterial. So there are different ways to use CBD for autoimmune diseases. Different ways that we're going to go over, and products are edibles, topical ointments. That's really important to have a good topical, not only for pain relief, for a lot of the skin conditions that those who live with autoimmune diseases have. There are vapes that can be consumed, tinctures, and even capsules. Again, patients who develop rashes and joint pain really do find a lot of relief with CBD tinctures and topicals. Again, it's always important to review the third-party lab analysis to really ensure that you're dealing with products that are safe, effective, and very potent and pure. So here is our product line at Wakana. We have two lines. One is our power line, and our power products are labeled with black labeling. You can see on the left. These are our full spectrum products. That means that it contains the full spectrum of the cannabinoids that we saw on that cannabinoid wheel, with the legal limit of THC, which is 0.3% or less. And then we have our pure product line. That's our broad spectrum line, which contains less than 0.0% of THC, a great product line for those who have random drug screens at their job. Still giving you all the benefits that we talked about that can address the symptoms that those who live with autoimmune diseases have. Something about our products is that our products provide some of the most rich medicinal hemp that is fully compliant with the State Department of Agriculture regulations. Our products are industrial hemp registered, as well as our products are Farm Bill compliant. In 2018, President Trump signed the Farm Bill, which now allows hemp to be legally sold, consumed, and cultivated in all 50 states. So our first product I want to talk about is our Hempranium MD. This is one of our more potent products. It contains between 600 and 800 milligrams of CBD. It is a more therapeutic product, meaning that those who have more severe conditions and symptoms that relate to autoimmune diseases, this is a great tincture to start that person on. When we talk about dosing, more is not better with CBD, and we'll get into one of the studies that came out of the Mayo Clinic, which looked at how much CBD does someone need that has chronic pain. And the levels are really low, between 2.5 and 20 to 25 milligrams is needed for most chronic pain sufferers. So starting low and starting slow is always what I teach my patients to do. So with most of these products, you want to start low and slow. 3 drops in the morning underneath the tongue, 3 drops in the evening is a great way to start these products. Now, our other power products are our 500 milligram Hempranium. This is a product that has a special proprietary formulation. Not only does it contain CBD, but it also is enhanced with 3 USDA certified organic essential oils, which include black seed, peppermint, and turmeric. All 3 of those essential oils are power products. Again, are on the left, has a proprietary formulation of 3 organic essential oils, peppermint, turmeric, and black seed, again, enhancing the anti-inflammatory properties of CBD. Our next product is our water soluble. Again, a great way to infuse your beverages and food, a great way to get CBD in if you don't want to hold a tincture under your tongue. And then our third product, our Culinary Plus, a great product for those who want to bake or cook or even use a tincture without those flavorings. And then our other products that really address some of the symptoms that we talked about this evening in those who suffer from autoimmune diseases. Lupus, fibromyalgia, sarcoidosis, scleroderma. Many of these autoimmune diseases attack the skin with issues of skin rashes. Our body cream contains 500 milligrams of CBD, a great product to use in those who have skin rashes. It's a great product that contains 500 milligrams of CBD, along with a host of other organic herbs that decrease inflammation, antibacterial, and antiviral properties. We also know that autoimmune diseases can affect the sexual dysfunction or sexual function in many men and women. Because we know that, we have a CBD lube. Our CBD lube is a 400 milligram of CBD, which is used outside of the vagina, can be used on the penis to help improve libido and sexual function as well. We talk about hair loss, specifically in lupus. In fact, hair loss can be one of the very first symptoms that a woman may notice before she's even diagnosed with lupus. Our Empowered Hair is a great product to restore those who have hair thinning and hair loss. This is a product that has 100 milligrams of CBD, along with 19 other USDA certified essential oils that help restore the hair through causing the vessels in the scalp to be dilated, to help with those who have bacterial and also other issues that cause hair thinning and hair loss. More importantly, this is a product that can be used topically in the scalp, or you can ingest it. Again, this is a great product for those who have autoimmune diseases that affect their hair. And then we have topical products. We have topical products that address pain relief, local pain relief. Our severe topical relief is a 200 milligram CBD, which is in a cream form. It's in a base of shea butter. It also has 9 organic essential oils that address inflammation and pain. Joint pain, inflammation, and swelling is one of the another big symptoms that those who suffer with autoimmune diseases have. So this is a great product to decrease that pain. We also have another pain relief that is not as potent. It is in a larger container. It's a 500 milligram in a 60 ml jar. But again, a great product for local relief for those who have mild to moderate joint pain and swelling due to autoimmune diseases. And then our Dr. Rita's Rub is a great, great product that is in a oil form that is only to be used topically. Please do not ingest this product, as this is a topical product for pain relief. It contains 200 milligrams of CBD along with 20 other USDA essential oils that help to reduce inflammation and pain. So this is a great option for those, instead of taking Motrin and Aleve and opioids for their lupus pain or fibromyalgia pain, joint and swelling, they can use our topical products. And then we have other power products, our gummies. Our gummies are amazing. They're 25 milligrams of CBD per gummy, a great way for those who have autoimmune disease and cannot get that rapid eye movement sleep at night. I love pairing a gummy at night to address inflammation and sleep. We also have a lot of testimonies that these gummies improve libido. So why not use a gummy every night? We also have products. They are spices and butters and culinary oils that, yes, those who live with autoimmune diseases can use in their food. We have something called a CBD joint. Yes, a CBD joint will not get you high, but it is a full spectrum product, which is 163 milligrams of CBD. And I love these CBD joints because they address acute issues, acute pain, acute anxiety, acute depression, any acute symptoms that can arise from those who have autoimmune disease. This is a great product. One pull, maybe 3 pulls is all you need. You don't need to smoke the entire CBD joint to get relief. We also have vape oil cartridges. We have one that has a nice flavor, which is a raspberry jane cartridge. Again, I love the onset of action when you vape. It's within 1 to 5 minutes. So those who suffer from autoimmune diseases and have acute pain and inflammation and swelling and anxiety, having a vape cartridge on hand is mandatory for that acute relief. We have another vape cartridge, which is our Hypnotic, which is infused with turmeric and black seed in a carrier oil of MCT coconut oil, again giving those who live with autoimmune diseases that fast relief. Now let's move on to our pure products. Our pure products, again, are our broad spectrum products. Those are products that have less than 0.0% of THC. So if you know someone, or maybe you, living with an autoimmune disease and you have random drug screens at your job, these are the products that you want to take, and those are our pure products. Now, our pure products are very unique. Like all of our products are very unique in the marketplace. We have a delivery system called nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is a delivery system that allows a CBD molecule to become more water soluble, which allows it to be more bioavailable to the cells. So this is a great way to get CBD, again, more effectively into the bloodstream. On the left, we have our Nano Pure Tincture. That is a product that you place underneath the tongue. 3 drops in the morning, 3 drops in the evening is what I recommend. Again, with a proprietary formulation, which includes black seed, turmeric, and arnica, again, enhancing the anti-inflammatory properties, along with 300 milligrams of CBD. And then we have a water-soluble pure product. It's a great product to infuse beverages and food. And then coming very soon will be our Nano Culinary Plus, will be a great product that you can bake and cook with as well. Now, this is a chart I was speaking of. This is a study that came out of the Mayo Clinic that says more is not better. Even when you're looking at dealing with chronic pain, 2.5 to 20 milligrams of CBD with or without THC is really enough for most people. Now, will some people need more? Well, absolutely yes. Some people who may have more severe conditions, maybe a person that may weigh more, may need more. But start low and start slow with 3 drops in the morning, 3 drops in the evening, pairing those drops with a local pain topical product with 1 gummy at night, and having 1 vape cartridge for acute conditions. That's my recipe for those who live with autoimmune disease. 1 tincture or soluble or water soluble twice a day, having that local topical product for local relief, and having that gummy at night and a vape cartridge for acute issues. It's really important to properly store your products. We recommend that you store your products in a nice, cool, dry place. You can store them in the refrigerator, but you want to absolutely store them away from extreme conditions like cold and extreme heat. Making sure that you shake your products well before using. We also have a customer variety pack. You know, many of you that may be living with autoimmune diseases, it's truly more economical to come in with our customer variety pack or even our personal use dispensary pack. And whoever invited you on the call can help you more with those packages. Just keep in mind that, as with any natural product, it's important to speak with your physician prior to using products. There is no established lethal dose of CBD. In fact, there's research that shows that even using doses as high as 1,500 milligrams per day has been shown to be safe and well tolerated by humans. Again, starting low and starting slow is something that you should use and remember, because again, most people don't need a lot of CBD to put their body back in balance. There are some medications that can have some interactions with CBD. Those medications typically are those that are metabolized through the cytochrome P450 pathway, that's through the liver. Those medications are typically the blood thinner called warfarin or Coumadin, and a asthma medication called theophylline. So it's important, if you're on a blood thinner, to let your physician know that you're starting CBD for maybe your autoimmune disease or maybe chronic pain or anxiety and depression, so that your physician will just do some more careful monitoring on your INRs. So yes, CBD is a safer choice for those who live with autoimmune diseases. So right now, I am going to take questions, but I am going to open up the line for a testimony. This is a person who has lupus and suffers from lupus. She is a registered nurse, and she is going to just come on the line and give her testimony about how these products have worked for her. LaShawn, are you out there?
Here, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hi, everyone. My name is LaShawn, and as Dr. Rita stated, I'm a nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 20 years now. About 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with SLE, also known as lupus. The way that the lupus affects me is I have organ attacks in my body. And as you all just learned, that is really the body attacking itself. So I primarily have involvement with my lung, at times my liver, my joints, skin, and the hair, of course, with the skin. It's a chronic lifelong condition. There is no cure, only treatment options, and there are different, severities of lupus. We can have inactive or remission states, or we can be in a flare-up exacerbation state. But even if it's a quiet inactive state, we still have the disease. Because I work on a busy inpatient surgical unit for 20 years, when I was diagnosed 10 years ago, I did have to alter the way that I take my patient assignments and the type of patients I care for because of the drugs and medications that I'm on. I'm in an immunocompromised state. I take drugs to suppress my immune system. So I have to kind of really be careful. With that, with this disease comes chronic fatigue, chronic pain, sleep disturbance, and no one picture is the same for lupus or autoimmune patient. Our symptoms may vary somewhat, or someone may have different type of involvement with different organs, but ultimately we do all have the common theme of chronic fatigue and chronic pain. I like to drive. I like to work. I have 2 kids in college, so I'm trying to put them through. I have a mortgage, so my goal is to continue working as long as possible. Lupus can be very debilitating. I would say a couple months ago, a friend, a colleague, and now my mentor in upline, Robin, introduced me to CBD. Now, as a nurse, of course, I've heard of it. But like physicians, nurses, we practice in an area or field. Once we get out of nursing school, wherever we work, whether that's OB or pediatrics or dialysis, that's kind of our area. We're in that, and we don't really branch out too much further. So I had heard of CBD, but I never really knew the ins and outs of it. And with my chronic pain, with that comes medications like Norco, medications like Percocet, oxycodone. And when you are a working person, you have to drive. You can't be groggy. You have to be attentive. When you're a nurse, you're working with patients. You have to be critically think and be sharp. So I always felt like I had to be in pain most of the time, 90% of the time, because I'm either working or driving or going to the next place, and I was always afraid to overuse or overdo with medication. I started the CBD probably a little over 2 months ago, and I have to say, I use a Fitbit. I'm sure everybody's familiar with Fitbit. The Fitbit tracks your sleep hours, your quality of sleep. You get a sleep rating score. I've known for years, at least the last 7, 8 years, I've been sleeping very poorly. And I didn't know if I had some OSA, sleep apnea going on, or if it was related to the autoimmune, the lupus. I must say, after about a good week of using the CBD tincture under my tongue, and I would hold it for 60 seconds and then swallow. I was doing that just once a day in the evening. And I reported back to Robin. I said, wow, I'm really sleeping better, and I'm having less pain. I was able to transition off. Now, mind you, I couldn't really take pain medication every day because I'm actively working. And you can't be, taking a Norco or Percocet and going to work is like being under the influence. I can't do that. So I would suffer. I'm talking about suffer, because I have to work, but I could not medicate myself. So this tincture worked well, not only for sleeping, but pain reduction. And I was able to, at my last physician's visit, which was about 2 weeks ago, and at the end of the visit, he wanted to refill all my medications. And of course, I says, okay, refill the Plaquenil, that's the maintenance drug for lupus, refill my mycophenolate, another kind of maintenance drug. But when he got to the pain meds, I says, no, doc, I don't need any prescriptions. And he said, oh, well, you sure? Because you're not coming back until like 2 months. I was like, you know what? I've been on the CBD. I haven't had one opioid pill in about 2 months. And even though I I would say taking them every day is just the quality of my life. I feel, well rested, less fatigue. And autoimmune disease, you have this, I call it like the tricycle. You have the chronic pain with the chronic fatigue, which often leads to some level of depression. So you have the wheel spinning with these three things: depression, fatigue, pain. Depression, fatigue, pain. You don't know which one is fueling the other, but the three of them together is horrible. So I really feel like since I've been on CBD that I've eliminated I've eliminated the pain, I've eliminated the sleep, the tiredness. Now I still have some level of fatigue with the lupus, but it's not that that sluggish, tired feeling that you have from sleep deprivation or lack of sleep. There's a difference. There's a different way that my body feels. A way that a person with any autoimmune or with me with my lupus, I'm in tune to when I'm about to flare up. Then I would usually start taking prednisone or doubling up on some other meds and text my doctor and say, hey doc, I feel a flare coming on. I got a fever. I have a night sweats. I know all my little cues. Now I got the CBD in the mix of that. And I gotta say, I haven't had a major flare since I've been on it. And I'm not saying that that's gonna, cure anybody and take all flares away. I've had some mini ones, but I was able to titrate my maintenance lupus medications with my CBD and keep myself out of the hospital. My goal every year is to prevent myself from being admitted. So February 14th will be a year that I haven't been in the hospital with a lupus flare. And that's pretty good. 2 months without a pain pill is pretty good. I would say right now for me, the benefits of this is that I'm off opioids. I've had a reduction in flares. I'm sleeping better. My skin is better. I do use the Power Mango body cream. So sun is bad for people with lupus, and extreme weather, either extreme heat or extreme cold can trigger me and have some type of alteration in my skin. So I haven't had any rashes for about 2 weeks. I'm new with the Power Mango, but the other stuff I've been using for a couple months. I've missed no work from lupus, no work for my symptoms of fatigue or my symptoms of pain, because sometimes I would really have to make the choice of take some pain medicine and stay home, because I know I can't properly care for patients if I need to take 2 Norco and to manage my pain. So because I don't have to make that choice, I can do my drops of tincture under my tongue and go to work and feel fine. So that's the way this has been a positive impact on my life.
Wow, LaShawn, what a powerful testimony. When we think about how our products have made such a profound impact on the quality of your life, that's huge. That's huge. Because we know, one, the opioid epidemic, 130 people are dying every day from opioids. They're trying to get out of pain. They're not trying to kill themselves, right?
No, just trying to sleep and be out of pain. Yes. And when you're trying to work, as a nurse, you have to make a choice. Am I going to work today, or am I going to take 2 pills today to keep my pain from being a 10 and maybe get it down to a 6?
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing. I really hope that, this webinar and the testimony that LaShawn has shared with us has helped someone on the line that may have lupus, or may know someone that lives with lupus or fibromyalgia or any of the other autoimmune diseases. I was given the opportunity to speak to the Lupus Society last Saturday, and I tell you, the information was just overwhelmingly well received by those in attendance, because so many still have the stigma about this plant being a plant that gives you absolutely no medicinal properties, but get you high. So, please share this information with those that you love that may have an autoimmune disease. Absolutely every single product that we have can address all of the symptoms that those have that live with lupus. So I'm going to take some questions. Hemp seed oil, is it as effective as CBD? Well, hemp seed oil does not contain CBD. Hemp seed oil is a great nutritionist oil. It's filled with omega-3, 6, and 9, but it does not contain any CBD. So a lot of companies will market their product as a CBD product, but it is hemp seed oil. Hemp seed oil does not contain CBD. There's some other questions about the dosage. Our products, again, are between 750 all the way to 300 milligrams in a 15 ml bottle. There's a question about a product having 3,000 milligrams, I think you're saying, in a 1 ounce bottle. I would love for you to email me at drritamac@yahoo.com. Email me the picture of the back of that bottle. Many times when you see products that have very high levels of what they say CBD is fillers. So you'll have MCT coconut oil, you may have hemp seed oil, you may have virgin oil, olive oil, and when you add up all those things, it's 3,000 milligrams. So just for the person that asked that question, just send me the ingredients, and I will show you that that's probably just a lot of fillers. Are there any other questions specific to autoimmune diseases? If not, I want you to contact the person that invited you on the line tonight. Again, I've listed my email there, drritamac@yahoo.com, if you have other questions. But whoever invited you on the line tonight loves you so much that they wanted you to get this information. So you want to contact them so you can get your products ordered so that we can truly make a difference in your lives and the lives that those that you love. So thank you again for attending tonight's webinar. Next Wednesday, meet us here at the same time. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next Wednesday. Maybe you guys can email me and give me some ideas on what you want to hear on how our products and how CBD can be effective for a certain condition. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.